Udaan is all about making the life of a retailer easy, and we do this through technology.
So Udaan brings thousands of products and brands to millions of retailers in India, and we provide the bridge to them using technology.
Udaan is a B2B e-commerce space which enables small businesses to grow.
Udaan is trying to solve for commerce asymmetry,
building capabilities to ensure commodities are accessible across the country.
At the heart of it is technology that tries to bring in that symmetry through various touchpoints.
Udaan aims to solve the problem of sourcing of goods for retailers across India, right?
I build robots for warehouse and logistics here at Udaan.
I work as a data scientist and also as a part-time machine learning engineer.
I am a product engineer at Udaan.
I curate app experiences for Udaan. I work for payment and accounting cluster in Udaan.
I lead app experiences at Udaan. I lead the Udaan Pay and pricing cluster at Udaan.
I lead the product and engineering team for the lending business of Udaan.
I head software engineering and application development here at Udaan.
I'm a product engineer and I lead the last mile and routing subcluster in supply chain.
I'm a cluster lead at Udaan. I take care of product and engineering for the supply chain systems.
I'm product engineer at vendor management.
I'm product engineer at Udaan. I currently lead the inventory planning and selection team.
I do software engineering here in front end.
I head technology at Udaan, look at product and engineering.
I work at Udaan as a software engineer and I work for search problem area.
So what do you call a startup? Startup is a new business that disrupts the existing models out there. So Udaan, in its stage right now, it's still a startup with thousands of employees.
Udaan provides a mix of both a big organization in the aspect of the flexibility and the work-life balance it provides.
But yes, we try to be a startup from a culture standpoint, both in terms of how we go about our day-to-day work and especially the velocity at which we go about attacking problems.
It has still maintained the direct connect to the problems and the ownership that you generally don't get in a big company.
Take the good things of a startup and apply the kind of stability and vision in focus with a long-term company. I think that is where the mix of both worlds come in, and that is the place Udaan is at.
We are highly impact driven and we focus on quick iterations and fast rollouts.
Gives you a lot more room for doing a lot of experiment analysis, what is working, what is not working, which actually gives you a great path of learning.
Udaan takes factors that makes a startup successful and scales those factors for teams of all sizes.
Product engineer is a very special role at Udaan. You're expected to not just look at the product, but also the technology aspect of it. Tying everything together, you create solutions which delight the customers and bring high impact to your function.
Product engineer is a subtle mix of a software engineer and a product manager. I believe the role came into picture to bridge the gap between how a product manager thinks versus how the engineering team thinks.
Product engineer is a combination of several roles like product manager, a software engineer, but basically we can think of it as a person who owns a problem in a specific domain.
They own problem statements instead of systems. Their accountability is towards creating that business value, creating that business impact, and they do that by leveraging and or building technologies.
Tech is also about understanding the user, understanding the domain, applying those principles using technology to make sure we build the product that users love.
E-commerce is all about multiple touch points, and every single one of those touch points, by definition, we have technology playing a role.
So when we say technology at Udaan, we are looking at a bunch of very different problems that come together. Supply chain, sourcing, inventory management, pricing. We are creating the best app experiences, right, for our users, which is intuitive for Bharat. We are also actually investing in our own cloud services, right, infra. So we, for example, one of the projects we are doing right now is a multi-cloud setup, right, which allows us to balance our services across a bunch of private and public clouds.
We are building first-class accounting system, sourcing system, pricing,
Product search, and of course inventory planning and supply chain all have to come together.
When I joined Udaan, I joined with the mindset that I'll be developing tools, applications, I found that it's not only about coding. I realized it is more about creating an impact in business owner's life.
What I was not expecting is the amount of growth and ownership a fresh out of college graduate like me would get when I joined Udaan.
For me, technology culture at Udaan is all about compression of time, in the sense that whatever it takes 2 years, 3 years to do elsewhere, we will do it in 6 months.
Continue to explore, uncharted territories, right? And you can't explore if you're not brave. That's the culture, right? An extremely hands-on,
Impact metrics driven.
Fearless,
fast-moving.
First principles thinking.
ownership-driven
culture that encourages its engineers to be brave.
That makes it a pretty exciting place to be in.